Smoke Show Scarlett Bordeaux, and you're watching the Kayfabe Man Cave podcast.
What's up? It's Sammy, the Spanish guy Guevara, and new TNT champion. And you, right now, yes, you, are listening to Kayfabe Man Cave.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kayfabe Man Cave podcast. I'm your host, Marv, here with my co-hosts, JR and Mark. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the year-end wrap-up in wrestling. So let's start with the workhorse of the year. JR, who do you pick?
Again, it was hard to just pinpoint one, especially with all the different companies going around, because you could just really pick one from anybody, right? Or from any company. But three standouts to me. I had him as my number one. Then I thought about it. It's not just him. Which surprised you because it's an AEW guy. I would say Jon Moxley. Workhorse. You know, he put AEW on his back, especially after the whole CM Punk debacle. I put Sami Zayn up there just for, everything he's done since, I guess, quite literally after WrestleMania and how he turned around and became probably the most popular guy in the WWE right now. And somebody that's not really signed to any company other than, well, I guess he's Impact, right? Matt Cardona. Just for what he's done in the Indies.
Those are great choices, yeah.
It was hard to pinpoint just to one guy,
Jon Moxley is what I had in mind, especially after that whole media scrum.
He was supposed to be on
vacation for like 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, but nope. He won the title.
Scrum happened, he had to continue to work. So he's my workhorse of the year. How about you, Mark?
Mine personally would probably be the Miz.
Miz.
Yeah.
Why the Miz?
Different definition of workhorse for me. It's just
he kind of just does what he's told.
Huh?
He does what he's told, but he does it well.
Not just that, but he definitely made Logan Paul what he was. And don't get me wrong, Logan Paul, amazing athlete, but you need someone to lead that match. He led the tag match, he led the singles match. He's been taking care of the whole thing with Dexter Lumis, and the guy continues to just be a workhorse because he stays healthy. He doesn't get injured like that. And he continues to keep trying to put over talent. And
he's also helped celebrity guests like Bad Bunny and Logan Paul.
Yeah, they trust him. They trust him.
He's trustworthy.
All right, great choice.
And he's willing to put new guys over, so that's always a good thing. So yeah, I agree with that.
All right, definitely. He's very, very unselfish.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys have good choices too. For me, it was, I don't disagree with any of them. Jon Moxley, perfect choice. This guy definitely put a hold on his what's it called? His honeymoon.
I don't think he went on his honeymoon yet, right?
The same part of me was like, nah, he doesn't really care. Like he lives and breathes wrestling.
Yeah, and plus Renee works for him now, so I don't know if they actually even went on their honeymoon yet.
He doesn't care.
She might, but
he's had a lot of choices.
All right. Great choices, guys. All right, let's move on to the next topic, the biggest flop / disappointment of the year. Mine personally was CM Punk because of the whole media scrum, and it kind of put a bad rep on AEW, and kind of ruined the future plans for AEW in the coming months after that scrum. So that was my biggest flop / disappointment of the year. How about you, JR?
Yeah, actually, I literally put All Out, Fallout. So same thing. For basically the same reasons. It's not a secret that I'm not the biggest AEW fan. But this quite literally put a kibosh on all their plans. as to what CM Punk was supposed to do. It was supposed to be what CM Punk and FTR against the Elite eventually, and that never happened. CM Punk was supposed to fight MGF again. That never happened. That it may never happen, right? So we still don't know what's going on with CM Punk. But yeah, that kind of was a big disappointment because while I'm not the biggest AEW fan, CM Punk still held a special place in my heart as a fan. But yeah, I would agree. Same thing.
Yeah, it also took away MJF's big moment that night too.
Yeah, it quite literally overshadowed that because everybody forgets what else happened that night. Besides, like the biggest news story came after the event, right?
How about you, Mark? What was your biggest flop this year?
Biggest disappointment, was it?
Biggest flop / disappointment of the year.
Just AEW in general.
Yeesh.
Yeah,
that wasn't me, guys. That was Mark.
It's true though. It's just
Can you be more specific.
All right, so let's touch on the whole the MJF CM Punk thing. We did that, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, CM Punk stole his moment." And then it's like you go a few months back, and it's like you had MJF doing the same thing to Wardlow, where Wardlow's big moment was stolen by, "Oh, I'm gonna leave the company. I'm gonna hold things," and it's just like there's storylines, and then there's things that are just complete distractions.
That's because TK, I don't know, his booking style is just super erratic. You think WWE's bad, but his shit don't make any sense.
And there's a lot of, I mean, obviously it's a growing pains. I understand it's been 4 years or 3 years, whatever, that AEW's been in business, but a lot of their stop go things too is very disheartening. Like, where's Miro? Well, where's the buildup of that? And they're like, "Oh, well, we have to manage things," and all this like excuses for it. It's tiresome. So like,
Miro's busy on OnlyFans.
Whatever the case may be, it's just a lot of that's just like upsetting. Like, you just want good wrestling, a good program. Keep yourself out of the dirt sheets. Just run your company and make sure it's successful. Then everything else will fall into place, I think.
Right.
Yeah, they buried Wardlow this week, in my opinion. But whatever.
He lost against Samoa Joe, right?
Yeah,
which is never a problem. But
then they cut his hair and all the other stuff.
They need to do something with that whole ROH, debacle. And are you having a show for it? Are you not? And it's like I said, it's AEW as a whole. That's my thing.
Again, that wasn't me, guys.
Tony Khan's trying to make it out like how WWE acquired after they acquired WCW. They kind of, had it in their own program as opposed to having as separate shows. But I would much rather have them have ROH as a separate show and not.
Yeah, but at least WWE had an invasion angle, so it made sense. Versus having people fight for Ring of Honor titles on AEW programming and all that stuff.
For no reason. I had this whole idea of Ring of Honor, I had to say, and I think I'll save it for either at the end or when we have any spare time. But I had this whole pitch on what I personally want for Ring of Honor.
Give them Rampage because nobody watches it anyway.
I just wanted them to have their own show. They
right there.
Show.
Rampage.
All right, you know what? Fuck it. I mean, sorry, I don't. You know what? I'm gonna throw this out there. Exactly what I want from ROH. No more TV. Do it like PWG. Go back to being an indie. Charge $50 to $100 for tickets. I want shows that have like licensed music. You can stream it on AEW or whatever for their.
Well, they have Honor Club again.
Yeah, do whatever. Take away Honor Club because we know it's all under one thing. Do the streaming through AEW because we obviously all know that Tony Khan owns it. But just do the shows do it like 2 times, 3 times a month. Don't overexhaust it. Make it back to an indie. Let it grow back to the roots that he initially loved. Pay the wrestlers the same rate, but make it back to what it was. Because in all honesty, if any of you guys go to wrestling shows on the East Coast, there really isn't much options when you look at companies that are like, hey, this is going to cost me, it's not going to break the bank. I'm not trying to fight scammers for tickets. Like, there isn't like a good product that's there for $50 to $100 for front row tickets.
True.
Right.
That's
Even if they are, they don't come that often. You know, WrestlePro, they have a show like every couple months, every 2 to 3 months. So,
and let me
Guys
just say
have
this:
more-
I went to
more shows.
House of Glory, which is ran by Amazing Red.
Mhm.
That had to be the most like disjointed indie wrestling show that I've been to, because like so the big thing that there was the attraction for them going was Kenta versus Loki, and the
I
end.
mean, on paper, that sounds great.
Yeah, the ending. Someone came in, some police officers that were under House of Glory, interrupted in the match, thrown it out by TQ. Kenta and Loki literally stand like 5 feet away from each other, one outside the ring, one inside the ring towards the ramp or whatever, and they just argue or for like 5 minutes straight. That's it, and it ends. That was it.
Yeah, it sounds like a weekly television ending,
Yeah. Well, whatever the case may be.
but it can't
go
be,
on.
obviously.
Yeah, let's. I'm getting off topic, anyways. But go ahead, Marvin. Carry on.
Next.
Next topic, the biggest surprise of the year.
I got a whole bunch.
Yeah, I'll go first.
2022 is crazy.
Mine was Cody Rhodes. I never thought he would go back to WWE. I thought he was gonna retire in AEW because that's the company that he helped start. So
Sure,
that was
yeah,
my
yeah.
biggest surprise of the year.
Hmm. I got like 4.
Mark, you want to go first?
No, let JR go first. I probably don't even have one.
Okay.
Okay, so Cody returns to WWE. I had that as my first thing, right?
Mhm.
Let's see. CM Punk All Out Scrum. We've talked about that already. Nick Aldis leaving NWA. That was a big deal, technically, right?
Yeah.
Vince leaving is probably the biggest thing for me. And then WWE fires Mandy Rose.
You were surprised by that?
Well, yeah, I didn't see that coming. Like, at least not that quick. But I think the biggest thing was Vince. But that just in a nutshell, that was 2022.
Yeah, a lot of surprises this year.
But Vince leaving, I think, is probably the biggest, at least for me.
Biggest one, right? Yeah. All right, Mark.
I got nothing. Nothing caught me off guard.
Nothing surprised you this year?
Nothing.
You thought Vince was leaving?
I mean, due to the reason, yeah, that was fine. But obviously, I didn't think that like it wasn't something that's like, as a fan of wrestling, it's not like part of the program. It's not like like I get it if it's something big like someone was murdered, someone got leaks and stuff like. But if we're keeping it to like just straight up just wrestling, not behind the scenes drama and all that stuff, like there really hasn't been anything that's like crazy. Like, how do you say this? When we were growing up, we watched programs where people would jump from show to show. Now there's 90-day clauses, there's no compete things. So, there was always rumors of like, let's just say Cody Rhodes going back to the WWE.
Yeah, that was going on for like a year, I would say, right?
Like William Regal going back to the WWE. There's nothing that would catch me off guard unless you like, let's just say, saw Kevin Owens on Friday Night SmackDown, and then all of a sudden you saw him on Wednesday Night Dynamite. Like,
I mean, I was surprised that Dragon Lee signed to WWE.
yeah, but that's still again another thing that's like not within like the confines of like us being.
Well, you're talking about just straight
fans.
Wrestling?
Yeah, being a fan. Being
Yeah,
surprised or
that's
shocked,
right there.
Like there's nothing there that's
A WWE wrestler pinned an AEW wrestler, technically.
You know what? Look, if we're gonna talk that kind of surprise, maybe I'm just surprised that everybody's working together in New Japan. You got a WWE wrestler there, you got AEW wrestlers there,
Mm-hmm.
and
True.
it's just maybe that's the biggest surprise. If
Same thing with Noah.
nice.
Right? Same thing in Noah with freaking Muda's last match or his
Shinsuke,
farewell tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's nice to see things working out together. We're
Bunch
going
of
based off
forbidden
of
doors
that.
open.
Yeah.
New Japan
That's
is
a surprise.
basically the forbidden door.
Yeah, but what does that mean for like some of the other wrestlers? Because they don't work with anybody from AAA. Or they don't it's something weird like that, right? They only deal with CMLL or whatever.
They're letting Shinsuke wrestle.
Well, no, New Japan. I know they have working relationship with CMLL, not AAA. I think that's what it is. I forget, but it is what it is.
Yeah. All right.
Next,
Let's move on to the next topic. The best breakout star of the year. For me, it was it's Roxanne Perez.
she did win that tournament.
Definitely deserved being NXT champion for all the hard work that she's put all these years. So she's my
Yeah,
breakout
Booker
star
T
of the year.
cried. Booker T
Yeah.
literally cried.
Yeah, he helped train her. He's one of the wrestlers that helped train her. So
I'll
Are we
never like the
talking
name of
only
his
about
company
rookies?
Huh?
Are we talking about like only rookies?
it could be a rookie. It
No,
could be
no.
someone
I
that's
don't
been
have
in business for a long time.
Yeah, mine's not a rookie.
Go ahead.
Oh, well. Going off what you said with Roxanne Perez, I have two. One female, one male. Sami Zayn is probably my male, just because again, he went from the whole Jackass thing to now being like part of the main event with Roman Reigns, and what should have been a month-long promo, what's not promo, feud is now like bubbling up that he'll likely be part of this whole thing to like WrestleMania at least, right?
What a year he's had, right?
A whole year, yeah. From Mousetraps to Bloodline.
This must be the biggest year of his career.
And he's not even holding a belt. And he actually won with the Blue Thunder Bomb. How about that, right? Amazing. And for females, I put Mandy Rose. I mean, she had a great year until the whole incident.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of just rebuilt herself as to one of the best women wrestlers on NXT.
Mm-hmm.
She was getting, in my opinion, she was going into that Trish Stratus route, fitness model into possible great wrestler, and stuff happens. Something tells me she'll probably be back anyway.
Yeah, I think so. All right, how about you, Mark?
I'm gonna keep mine the same as you guys. Sami Zayn, breakout. I don't see anyone that had a bigger, how do you say this? I don't know where. Kind of
because especially under McMahon, he was obscure, basically obscurity, right? Like we didn't know what the hell he was doing with McMahon in charge.
I'm gonna be 100%. I think, like at least for me personally, I always knew he had that kind of talent to do that. Like he was very charismatic as El Generico for me,
which is hard to do under a mask.
Yeah, very good. Like to somehow, and that's another thing that's like a lot of people that are like, it's like wrestlers under mask and things. It's like how to convey emotion and everything through body language, even if like foreign wrestlers, like someone like Akira Tozawa, who can speak English, but is just like very, how do you say this?
He's not confident.
He's very he portrays a lot of emotion through everything from facial features.
Yeah, he screams a lot.
Body language to everything. It's a matter of that. But it's Sami Zayn's my choice for breakout star, just because he went from somebody who was supposed to be, at least this is from like the videos that like were posted online, he was supposed to make, in Paul Heyman's words, he was supposed to just make a one-time appearance and ended up being part of the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from all accounts, the rumors is that the whole bloodline thing for him was supposed to be like a month-long thing, but no, they're just now he's out here.
Yeah, it was supposed to be temporary.
He's breaking everybody out of character with his freaking his comedic timing. It's great.
Mm-hmm. And as a result, he's sold a lot of merch. You know,
Yeah.
I got the honorary Oos T-shirt. He's also come out with
My dog.
my dog.
Maybe for Syria.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so yeah, he's great, man. He's had an amazing year so far.
Yeah.
If I were to pick a male, he would have been my choice as well. All right, so the best promo of the year. I was choosing Sammy just specifically for this because of his interactions with the Bloodline. You know, you gotta love that feud he had with Jay. How much that Jay had with him was made for entertaining television.
Oh yeah. Well, his promo last week was really good as well too. What was it, last week or Monday? No, it was last week because there was no Raw Monday when he was just going off on KO and Cena, and then Roman Reigns was just like nodding his head in approval.
Yeah. And I love how he has secret handshake with Jimmy. Well, Jimmy and Jay now. do the they do the handshake at the same time, and how he dances when he comes out with them.
Yeah, he's great. He's a treasure.
I honestly can't tell you.
Who was
No,
For me-
who had the best promo for you guys?
I mean for me, wouldn't you'd be surprised not a WWE guy who'd be MGF's pipe bomb on TK.
Hmm.
Which one?
Oh, which one after the pay-per-view?
What's that called? The one where he got suspended right after, where he was off TV for like 3 months.
Oh, where he cursed and he
Yeah.
called everyone like an effing mark.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was the one he didn't go to a meet and greet, right?
Yeah, like right after that one, right after he lost to Wardlow.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was off TV for like 3 months,
Yeah.
which made no sense.
Even in backstage interviews with like Sam Roberts, you know, he stays kayfabe. He keeps in character.
No, he's great. Like he's a shining light in my fandom of AEW, I guess. Like I can't be mad at him. I can't not like him. You know what I'm saying? It's great.
And he loves Triple H, so
Yeah,
there might be
he's a Triple H guy, but he doesn't work for the company.
right. I was gonna say there might be an opportunity for him to go to WWE one day
Uh,
if things don't work out in AEW.
I like to think that TK is not dumb enough to extend his give him more money without the extension, even though that's the storyline where he got the extra money without the extension. I think he got the extension.
Right.
They're just keeping it, kayfabe. Otherwise, TK is a dumbass, which could also still be true, but whatever.
How about you, Mark?
I got nothing.
You think who had the best promo this year?
I got nobody.
Nobody. Wow.
And it sucks. It's just
Not even
Damn.
MJF.
I thought I was Mr. Negative.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of. I don't know if there's been a running meme on like online subreddits where it's like upcoming next MJF. We hear from MJF, and they have like 20 cards of upcoming. We hear from MJF upcoming.
Oh
And
my god,
it's been
yeah.
having like when you oversaturate something, you have MJF. He can definitely talk. He can carry a promo, but you hear from him every other week, doing the same shtick, doing the same thing about like how he does it with Ricky. It's like copy and paste. There's so like MJF, great promo guy. Don't get me wrong. It just for me, it's like there's not one that stands out besides obviously the one about him cursing or like calling Tony Khan a mark and being out of work. But like I'm trying to think, has
I mean, yeah, that would be it. Basically,
Like-
I mean, I like the Ricky Starks promo too, but other than that,
the Ricky Starks promo after his match was good.
Mhm.
Was it something that was like
the maxi pad.
yeah, but like was it something that was like
No,
wow,
it's not. It's not setting the
you know.
world on fire. No, of course
no
not.
no no.
Mhm.
So when I'm looking for something like that, I'm just like I guess for me, I'm just looking for someone that like wow, they can really talk, they can really captivate someone. Oh, if you asked me, it's like, do you remember a line from that promo? Like there's nothing in my head that
It was
stands out. Like
definitely memorable.
nothing super memorable. Like Cody Rhodes had a couple good ones. LA Knight had a couple of great ones.
Yeah.
But if
Cody
you're
Rhodes also
telling
had a
me
couple
to
of bad
quote
ones.
them per verbatim, I really couldn't give you something where I'm just like, oh wow, that's wild.
No, I get it. I get it. I just feel like a lot of these guys, like especially MJF, like you, as long as you convey, as long as you get an emotion out of me or anything like that, negative or positive, you did a decent job.
All right, but nothing really stands out from any
No.
wrestling company.
None.
Not from Vacant, apparently.
Okay.
Not from AEW, WWE, MLW,
Nothing from
ROH.
indies.
Definitely not NWA. Well, Nick Aldis's interview was really good, but
Yeah, but nothing groundbreaking.
no.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next topic. The best company of the year.
Ooh, that's
Mine-
super subjective, brother.
It is. It is.
You know what I'm
We
gonna
have
say.
three of us. That's why I have three of us. We have different opinions. So for me, it was WWE, especially ever since Triple H took over. He's brought back so many wrestlers this year that were laid off or let go due to the pandemic. So
hmm
for me, it was WWE because of all the wrestlers they brought back.
I mean, obviously, you know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, I mean, if you would have asked me this in the beginning of the year, it could have been different. But I think especially after with the McMahon thing and Triple H, it was a huge turnaround. Stocks are up. I guess intrigue is up because the ratings are up and all that
Ratings
stuff.
are up.
How the house gates are up. They're actually having legit sellouts again. It is what it is. WWE, man. Minus top dollar falling on his face, but whatever. If you watch SmackDown, it looks like he's turning heel now, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Well, that was a bad flop.
Yeah, when they were going at him, they were making fun of him today on SmackDown, so it was a good.
Yeah. It was
It's a
funny
good
how
turn.
Michael Cole acknowledged it, and
Yeah, you have to. It's just the elephant in the room, right?
Right. What made me laugh was when B-Fab was like cheering him on as if he
He's like, "Yeah, you tried,
executed an
bro."
awesome move.
That's her boo. You got to defend your man no matter what.
All right. How about you, Mark? Who was the best company this year?
WWE. I mean, there's nothing really to say about it. It's just you're more prone to saying what's wrong with other companies that made them. Let's just say, when did Triple H take over?
Like 4 or 5 months ago.
Or it only took 4 to 5 months to take over that slot. 4 months. It was such a simple thing, just because of what we wanted. Now, let's switch to what makes the other companies not as good. Why couldn't New Japan be one? Why couldn't AEW be one? AEW, personally, for me, I just didn't care enough. You go to their shows, they don't have enough merch. Me and Marv went to All Out, right? Was it All Out?
No, Full Gear.
Full Gear.
Full Gear.
Merch tables. They had, obviously 3 or 4 or 5 shirts, but come on, man. You run a company based off of you want to sell Acclaimed shirts. You want to be able to sell Hook shirts.
Yeah, I heard there was only like 15 scissors.
It's crazy to me. And then I don't know. It's if you want to go with New Japan, I don't know what it is. There's just something that the magic has been lost with.
He's so negative.
Kenny Omega. I know, but it's none of
No, you're right. I agree. New Japan hasn't been the same since the Elite left.
Yeah, it's not. It's not due to them. Not only due to them leaving, but it's just how do you progress? How do you continue the movement past when those guys leave? How do you plan?
Right, because you can't ride Okada forever.
I mean, they're trying to with Osprey and Jay White, but
and Osprey,
not the same.
They made him cut a promo where he sounded exactly like Kenny Omega. You can YouTube it where he cuts his promos all year this year. There's one where he speaks in the exact same cadence as Kenny Omega. And I don't know if that was supposed to be a rib, whatever the case may be, but
I mean, to be fair, I think Ospreay definitely stepped up a little bit, but yeah, that's big shoes to fill.
and then,
they're trying to make him like the new Kenny Omega.
He's just not though. Like the guy doesn't even. He's been in New Japan. He's the front, and the thing is, he's not even trying to speak Japanese in any of his promos.
No,
Learn it.
I don't think he knows how to.
And for whatever reason, he refused to leave Japan. Like,
yeah. Did you guys see the promo with the Kenny promo to Ospreay?
Yeah, perfect.
That was awesome.
That was amazing. The
Kenny's still my favorite wrestler outside of WWE.
The guy,
I love Kenny,
and I love when he looks like the final boss.
Right? Yeah.
It's a video game cliche, but like the way that he carries himself when he was like belittling Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Hilarious. It's completely separate from his all elite character.
Yeah, it's hard for anybody. It's hard for anybody against Kenny because I feel like he just outshines everybody as far as like his presence and how he acts.
And that's the other thing. It's like we want to see Ospreay win. That's what they're trying to gear. And he's gonna win. And I don't doubt it in my mind. 100%.
He's gonna win. I think Ospreay's gonna. He has to win.
Event.
The Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah,
he's got to win.
I gotta. When is it again? Is it next week?
The 4th or something like that.
Oh yeah, I gotta renew. I gotta re-up on my subscription.
But
if you do renew, make sure you do it on the 1st because that's when they charge. So don't do it before the 1st.
Oh yeah, I'll get charged again.
Twice.
Word.
But yeah, it's a very hard thing to want to see Kenny Omega lose.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think he needs to go to WWE because there's so many people in the WWE that will give him the exact amount of like, it's like, what's the word I'm like? There's like levels, right? Like there's the superstardom that's there in WWE. Like there's marquee matches for him there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the ability to work with those guys.
Correct. Yeah, hands down. Kenny versus Seth Rollins. I'll watch that any day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's great because in Triple H's one, he can do promos. He can do, he can talk until he has to do his match, prolong his career. He can have, the wrestling limitation is not like how he had it with the same person that has that deal as Cody Rhodes. The guy hasn't had a WWE match in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Something that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I feel like Kenny could use a WWE match or two because it'll definitely add more years to his career. If you get what I'm saying, it'll slow him down a little bit.
But we are getting off tangent again. Marvin, please.
It turned into us wanting Kenny Omega in WWE.
No, but I do. Going back to what you said, though, I like how he's portrayed in New Japan with that whole the cleaner gimmick. I wish they implement that in AEW.
Clean sweep.
They tried, but it was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Don Callis thing was weird too.
Still is.
Very. Yeah.
Next topic. The best event of the year. So / pay-per-view of the year.
Or premium live event.
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania is nothing can beat that. So let's
hands down, I put WrestleMania, of course, but
let's talk about an event that's not WrestleMania. For me, it was Forbidden Door.
Technically, yeah, I would say Saudi was actually really good.
Yeah. Oh, surprisingly, you're right. Yeah.
Very good. I put Forbidden Door up there as well, just because of the matches I wanted to see. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Right, but it wasn't. It didn't live up to hype for me.
Was it because CM Punk and Dan O'Brien were injured?
Well, yeah. I mean, that card was convoluted to begin with because the card kept changing. People kept getting injured. People got injured in the match. Like the world title match was just a cluster. obviously because of what happened to Adam
Kenny
Cole.
was injured as well, right?
Yeah, like it was. I put it up there as to my expectations, but my expectations were obviously let down. Still good overall, but
I thought it was
wasn't
amazing. Yeah,
still not better than say a WrestleMania or even the Saudi pay per view.
the Saudi pay per view surprised me because usually they suck,
Yeah, well, under McMahon, yes, I guess Triple H knows what he's doing.
but this year was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to agree. How about you, Mark?
And even Brock Lesnar was SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar in the damn forklift.
Oh yeah,
Super memorable.
Lifted the ring. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Saudi Blood Money. That's all.
Yeah, man. Hey,
They put on a great show. Logan
money
Paul
talks.
put on one of the most amazing matches with Roman Reigns.
Reigns. Yeah, that match surprised me.
Yeah.
And he got hurt during that frog splash, right?
He had,
To the
he had
outside?
multiple injuries. I think he
Oh.
had like 2 or 3
That just shows he's trying, you know?
Yeah. Mark, you agree that
Was that Crown Jewel?
the Saudi show was your event of the year?
Yep.
Okay. So next topic is the best match of the year. Mine would have to be Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins and the Hell in a Cell match.
Man, he like copied me all the damn time. Did you see my notes?
To me, that was an incredible match, especially when he was wrestling injured.
Man, imagine what it could have been if he wasn't injured.
That must have been so painful, man.
I don't envy him.
Yeah. What a way to wrestle before you're taking time off to recover from injury, right?
Yeah, that's just insane. The amount of stuff he had to go through, and I just remember. I know it's not real, right? Like he's not really driving the damn thing into his fucking pec, but still, like the visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, JR? You agree?
Yeah, I had that as one. I had FTR versus the Briscoes, the first one, and then I also had Carmelo versus Ricochet.
Oh yeah, that was also an amazing match. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they have the similar styles, so it was awesome to see them go at it.
I love Carmelo Hayes. He just needs to be on the main roster already.
Yeah, he's like he reminds me of of Shawn Michaels. He's like a modern day version of Shawn.
That's teacher's pet right there, man. Sean loves him.
Yeah. How about you, Mark?
Personally, there's two. I mean, I know you have to pick one, but mine was FTR.
I had 3, so it's all good.
FTR versus Briscoes
Mm-hmm.
at the dog collar match at Final Battle.
The last one.
Yeah, and then Gunther versus Sheamus at Clash.
I had that too. I was thinking about that. That was good.
That was a good match. Yeah,
that was very good.
That was a big surprise, actually. Like, who would have thought like Sheamus would have like a 5-star match? You know, I think Meltzer gave a 5-star, didn't he?
Sheamus is super underrated. I mean,
he is.
He can work.
Definitely, yeah.
And he'll sell when he has to. Just I guess he just never had to before, right?
All right, next topic. We'll talk about our flavor of the year.
Okay.
Mine is Mandy Rose. Not because of her.
You just saw my notepad, bro. What's wrong?
Not because of the fan site, okay?
I don't believe you, but okay.
Because of how long she's held that NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah, it's shame, man. It's super shame.
Yeah, and she went from from where she was at in the main roster to how she became in NXT. It was like a complete 180.
Yeah, I had Mandy and Roxanne as kind of 1A, 1B. But yeah, Mandy, such a shame.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting because I still think Gigi and JC still have miles on them. They can definitely make it. Do they go at it by themselves, or I know there was a rumor that Chelsea Green might step in, but we'll see.
Yeah, she turned off her OnlyFans account.
Oh yeah, well she's definitely coming in. I know I forget where I read it, but there was rumor that she might be the leader of Toxic Attraction now. There was a rumor flying around about Chelsea taking over, but I don't know if there's any legs to that.
I think that would be a good match for her.
I mean, I might not mind that. Yeah.
Yeah. But her shutting down OnlyFans, I think that's a sign that she might be coming back.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's kind of like FTR losing all the belts, right?
All right, Mark, how about you? Who was your flavor of the year?
Oh, I mean,
Male flavor.
mine
Female.
did Jamie Hayter.
That's a good one.
She decided to all of a sudden come out the shadow of Britt Baker and just be this powerhouse. Like it was between her and Willow, who's someone that I don't believe I've really gotten to know about, like in terms of watching why people loved her. But
Yeah.
after watching like a couple matches and a couple backstage segments, I'm like, I completely get it now. So those two are
I'm not.
mine.
I like Hater. I'm not completely sold on Willow yet.
There's a lot to that character that they can go with, which is the best part about it.
The thing with Hater for me is, I mean, I guess they're doing a good job then, right? If I'm really annoyed, is I'm getting really tired of Britt Baker. I love Britt Baker, but she doesn't need to be. She doesn't have to be on TV all the damn time.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
like
mine.
Hater. Mhm.
That's mine.
Yeah, it is a good choice. Yeah. All right. All right. So let's go
Haters
to
gonna
our
hate.
final flavor of the year, our male flavor of the year. Mine, I would have to name the group, the whole group.
Hmm?
I would name the
The group?
Bloodline as my flavor of
Okay.
the year, but specifically
Them the
because
ones.
of Sami Zayn.
We're the ones.
Trey agrees.
Right. Trey knows what's up. Yeah, so I mean, they have had an amazing year. I mean, just Sami Zayn just brought a lot of entertainment to that group, and you know, put himself and the group over. So,
Yep.
they're my
Again,
male flavors of the year.
You totally saw my notepad, bro. It's all right here, as you can see. Well, it's right there. Sami Zayn. Yep, I have Sami Zayn as my male flavor of the year. Because again, if we're looking back from WrestleMania, he was in a great match with Johnny Knoxville, but was a comedy match, and now he's in the main event with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, jobbing
Albeit
to
as a tag team partner.
celebrities to being
Yeah.
like the most entertaining, you know, wrestler this year.
Well, my
And
favorite
that's okay,
Roman
jobbing to
Reigns.
celebrities, because he even said it himself in a Stone Cold podcast. Like,
Mhm.
it was one of his best matches. It's entertaining. As long as people are entertained, it's all good.
He called the Johnny Knoxville his best match?
One of his favorite matches. Yeah.
Oh, favorite match. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not for maybe in-ring work, but it's just
Right.
overall entertainment and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. How about you,
And
Mark?
again, he won with a blue thunder bomb. Like, he beat AJ Styles with a blue thunder bomb.
Yeah. I'm sure that wouldn't fly last year.
No, hell no. He might still be that conspiracy gimmick still.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I honestly don't have a wrestler of the year. It's sad, but I don't have a male like some guy who like was above and beyond and was like, oh wow, like you guys already hit Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
I can't put him.
You
I don't
can
want
choose
to.
it,
I
right?
don't want to double dip. But,
Triple dip.
Triple
yeah,
dip.
triple
Yeah.
dip. Yeah. So I mean, personally, yeah, I couldn't think of one.
You have a wrestler maybe from the Indies that you
Action Andretti.
had a great year this year.
Matt Cardona.
No. I'm trying to think.
Nobody from Impact. Mikey Speedball, whatever his name is.
No,
He
not
had a
that
good year.
guy.
He had a good year.
He had good matches, but I don't know. Something about him I'm not attracted to in terms of
He has a weird
wrestling.
look. He don't look like a wrestler.
I mean, it is hard to top what Sami Zayn has accomplished this year.
I'd
Only
probably
other
have to
person
go
would be
back to
Roman.
that one, but I have no one.
Okay.
And John Cena don't count. He's only had one match.
Would you consider Sami Zayn if we hadn't brought it up? Do you think he deserves the male flavor of the year?
Easily.
Hmm.
Easily. There's no I mean the guy went from doing a role that made no sense of being a one-off. You know, he wasn't supposed to be mentioned after, you know, the month-long whatever. Turned it into, you know, becoming part of a stable, being the lovable goof in that stable to, you know, carrying a feud to potentially WrestleMania. So,
I mean, I feel like he's part of the reason they're as over as they are at this point.
No, yeah, hands down. Yeah.
They only had so much room to do that with their family bloodline. Like I don't, Roman could only carry it so far.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Solo,
yeah, and at some point it would have been like go away heat.
yeah, and Solo can only be quiet for so long.
Right.
Thankfully, you have someone else who can do talking. You don't want Paul Heyman oversaturating his promos because he's great too. He's in the same boat as MJF, where it's like,
oh man, yeah.
You hear too many times of Paul Heyman saying, we had it with Brock Lesnar. It's not just a spoiler. Whatever, and it's just like let's make it worth it.
I think that's the reason why Paul has been talking less.
Yeah,
he's been giving the mic more towards to Roman and
yeah,
Sammy.
definitely, and it's hilarious. Oh man, it's great when you see like in the background and Sammy's just talking and going off, and you just see like Roman just like chuckling and like Paul Heyman just can't believe what he's hearing. It's amazing.
Yeah, you gotta love those moments when they break character, man, and
like Solo's trying to cover his face. He's like,
when Jay was trying to cover his mouth, he had to turn his head.
And then to go back to this whole breakout superstar or whatever, not breakout, but like superstar of the year. Let me just say this: if we're going based off of facts, Will Ospreay should be number one. He should be everybody's.
He's up there. Definitely, I think he's up there.
He should be the wrestler of the year, whatever. It's because based of how many 5-star matches he's had by himself. But Kenny decided to point it out. Out of those 5-star matches, how many of them can you name off the top of your head that were like, you can name which one, but do you remember it?
Well, that's the argument I always say about like companies or like wrestling in general.
Yeah.
And Triple H has said it so many times. Like moves don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do all the moves you want and have a great match, but if you don't emit any kind of emotion or people don't remember the storyline going on, it means nothing almost.
Right.
And Sami Zayn, he hasn't had like that 5-star match or anything like that, but we remember everything he's doing.
He doesn't need to. Yeah, he doesn't need
to. He's capable. I mean,
he's capable, but he doesn't have to.
Yeah. Right. He doesn't have to. But if you remember his match against Claudio in NXT,
I mean, hands down.
That was a 5-star match.
His debut match against Shinsuke, or his
match against Shinsuke, yeah.
Shinsuke's debut. I'm sorry.
Shinsuke's debut, yeah. Like I'm saying, he can have a banger, but again, it's the hardest. That's not the easy part, but I think it's harder to pull off a good story.
Mm-hmm. No, it's more hard to connect, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Make people care. It's like, why should I care for Sami Zayn? And it's like everybody felt that little bit of emotion when he's like, oh, they ripped off the shirt, and when they gave him the Uso shirt, everyone was like happy, and everyone's now waiting on the eventual turn.
Yeah, and that's why, like I said, man,
that's what I wanted to get into actually. So coming into 2023, this is not going to last forever, right?
No.
So who you think is going to turn on who?
Like it's gonna be heartbreaking when they're gonna eventually turn on Sami Zayn. Like he's gonna get his ass kicked by the Usos. It's gonna be heartbreaking, and it's gonna be great TV.
Okay, so
I think
the
him and KO
is gonna turn on him, not just like
yeah. I think the whole bloodline's gonna turn on him, honestly. But the issue now, I think WWE kind of booked himself in a weird position where I think everybody expects Cody to be the one to take at least one of the belts off him. Yeah. I think there's an argument you can make Sammy do it. But if you don't go that route, you have the option for Sammy and KO to take the tag belts off the Usos.
Right.
Because I think
for Sammy to take the championship off Reigns, man, that's a stretch.
Stranger things have happened, brother.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho beat Stone Cold and The Rock in the same night.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll make for great TV. But like I said, if you're good, I don't.
Well, it's likely to happen.
Right. I mean, I think KO and Sammy take the tag belts. I don't see a situation where I think the Bloodline have the belts after WrestleMania. I think it's all going to implode in LA and WrestleMania. Well, like
I think that would
they lose the belts there. I think.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. KO and Sammy teaming up.
Or FTR. Who knows? Their contracts are coming up.
How about you, Mark? What do you think?
With
next year?
with them in general, or like what exactly?
The Bloodline. What do you think is going to happen next year?
I mean, that's the beauty of it. You have so many options you can make. Personally, I don't want Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn anywhere near the tag team titles.
Okay.
I don't want to see them rehashed. Like the guy on his debut show powerbombed Sami Zayn.
I get that. That's that would be my big concern is if they were to win, it's going to be a double turn again, right?
It's not just a double turn, but it's like it's one of those things where it's not like, okay, they win, it's great, but when is Kevin Owens going to turn? When is Sami Zayn going to turn? It's not about, man, it's going to be nice to see these guys be a tag team again. It's more so like everybody already knows that the eventual breakup's going to happen. They're not going to have something civil. It's too predictable. I don't want to see it.
No, I get you. Yeah.
For the Bloodline though, it's everything's going to culminate at WrestleMania. Maybe there's also the route I've read online where Jey Uso doesn't want to turn, or was it Jey doesn't want to turn on Sammy and ends up becoming main event Jey again, takes off one of the titles at WrestleMania. There's a storyline where Solo Sikoa apparently is working with The Rock in terms of being the head of the table and all this stuff. The Rock comes back, challenges Roman at WrestleMania. There's so many routes.
Solo's going to be a star, man. Hands down, I think.
Yeah, I see him do Umaga's finisher.
He used it today. Yeah. He beat Shamo.
It all depends. It really does.
Yeah.
On how they book him. Can he cut a promo? Can he carry by himself?
That's true. I mean, he had promos on NXT that were okay. Yeah. Nothing groundbreaking, but he wasn't bad. I don't think he needs a mouthpiece like, who was it? Alejandro, whatever his name is. Armando Alejandro Estrada. He don't need a mouthpiece, no.
He's basically Samoan Hook.
Samoan Hook. Okay,
I wouldn't compare him to Hook. At least Solo has a storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's silent badass. Goes in, does his business, fights people.
Yeah, at least he has direction.
All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up. It's a year-end wrap-up. This is Marv, JR, and Mark signing out.
And we swear 2023, we're going to be doing more of these things. We got this.
Definitely.
Yep, and a lot shorter, too.
Yeah.
And maybe Mark will show his face again.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, guys. Remember to keep it real or keep it kayfabe. Peace.
Later.
This is Brandy Lauren, and thank you guys for watching Kayfabe Man Cave.